Louisa, lameness in horses is as topical as ever, but what has changed really over the last 10 years?
In terms of actually treating lameness in horses, joint-wise, we now are seeing much more than just steroids being offered to horses. You know, we've got polyacromide gels and stem cell treatment now that are really coming to the forefront, which I think shows that owners are now really keen about longevity of a career and trying to be proactive about repairing the damage that is done and you know, hopefully having that horse for longer.
Yeah, and I think it takes up such a long time to get that rapport and relationship with your horse. Of course, you want maximum longevity within that partnership. You spoke about what owners can do, people like me. What can we do really to help protect the joints of our horses?
Yeah, so I mean, so much of this comes down to is the horse fit for the job? So I think it's more topical than ever to say, is the horse the right weight for what it's doing? If it's carrying extra weight, that's extra weight on its joints. Is it fit enough to do what you're asking it to do? And is the training regime appropriate? And you know, that really comes down to seeking out the correct tuition, making sure that you're working closely with a trainer and with the right paraprofessionals as well. So having a physio keep a close eye on the horse, having your vet look at them when you're not quite sure if the horse is right, and acting early, being aware of, you know, by the time the horse is actually lame, you're a long way down the scale of the development of arthritis. So what we would really like to do is act a bit sooner and you know, ideally before the joint gets to the point where you can see visible changes on x-rays would be the goal. Yeah. So trying to spot the signs of joint disease early will help us prevent damage long term. So when we're looking at our horses, it's being familiar with their legs, noticing any early signs of changes. That might be puffiness of the joints or heat and swelling. And if you see those sorts of things, it's worth acting early. You want to be thinking about joint supplements, contacting your vet and finding out if there's actually a problem there.
So Louisa, why would people feed joint supplements then?
Yeah, so I think the joint supplement has to be thought of as a small cog in the big wheel. So it's a small part of the bigger picture. We're looking to maximise on the comfort and the longevity of a horse's career, proactively ensuring, you know, doing all we can for joint health.
So looking at joint supplements then, what actually is in these supplements?
So I guess in our opinion, a top class joint supplements will contain a blend of ingredients. So a mixture of ingredients that are aimed at providing the body with the building blocks for repair. So allowing the body to undertake cartilage repair, reducing oxidative damage, so that happens when the joint is inflamed, and actually bringing down the inflammation as well. There's a great big molecule in that cartilage called a proteoglycan. That term people probably aren't familiar with, but the building blocks for it are glucosamine and chondroitin, which are names that, you know, we've heard of for human health, for dog health, for horse health. Now, those two ingredients have been used in horses for a very long time. They've been studied closely, and we know that if you feed them together, they actually work synergistically, so they're more powerful if you feed them together rather than on their own. Another building block that you'll be familiar with is hyaluronic acid. So hyaluronic acid can be injected straight into joints, or we can feed it orally. Hyaluronic acid is really important for good quality joint fluid. So the joint fluid sits within the synovial capsule. It feeds the cartilage, but also lubricates the joint and makes sure everything's working well. Ideally, it wants to be nice and thick and gloopy. When a joint becomes inflamed, it becomes very watery, and water is a very poor lubricant.
So Louisa, what does oxidative damage actually mean?
Yeah, so it's a term that we're probably not all that familiar with. Whenever anything breaks down in the body, you have free radicals released, and free radicals can be thought of as the bull in the china shop. So they're really energetic little balls of energy that go rip-roaring around the joint, and anything they crash into, they're going to damage. So what we want to do is trap those and prevent the damage that they're going to do. And to do that, we need an antioxidant. So what's important here is we need one that's actually going to get into the joint. So we need a water-soluble antioxidant. And in this case, the best man for the job is vitamin C. We've measured vitamin C in joints. We know that it can get in there. So it's in there to trap the free radicals and stop them from doing any more damage. The last pillar of our joint supplement would be reducing inflammation. The best way of doing that is by feeding omega-3 fatty acids, DHA and EPA. You need the source of those fatty acids to be a marine source. That's the only place where we find them in large amounts, and the body has a very poor ability to convert other omega-3s into DHA and EPA.
So, Louisa, these sort of prime and quality ingredients are really important. I notice in your Flexibility Pro, it actually contains boswellia amongst other ingredients. So what are the difference between both of the joint supplements?
So the Professional was built on the back of the success of the Plus. The focus for the Professional is the hard-working horse or the older horse. It has a stronger focus on targeting inflammation and keeping horses comfortable.